I almost dreaded watching this episode after the shambles that was episode 3. I guess they gave episodes 1 and 2 to reviewers and saved all their A material for those episodes. So we've just had Trunk and Nadia kidnapped by the new bad guys. We've gone up a level on the bad guy stakes. We've moved from the fake bad guys to the real bad guys to the bad guy with the cauliflower ear to the bad guy from Breaking Bad. So last episode we really learned nothing except that Paul's daughter is in Las Vegas and the bad guy is going someplace by the lake. And the chopper is going down because Paul is tripping balls and pulling it apart mid-flight. There's no way they're getting out of this unless the crashing is also part of their hallucinations. Okay, is McKnight's mum Sybil Shepherd? Why'd she get up to make nachos without pausing the movie? Was this during the Stone Age? So the helicopter crashed, but it looks like it was dropped from like 3 meters instead of however many dozens they were up in the air. McKnight's got a 6 slash across his kidneys, just like his hero Rambo. But while Rambo was a pussy and winced, McKnight is lifting fully grown men with raging hard-ons. Breaking Bad guy has some pretty good trigger discipline. He's still the least threatening villain I've ever seen. His idea of in control is more like bored. He kinda reminds me of David Brent from The Office. Hans Gruber was a non-physically threatening villain who you wouldn't want to cross. This guy just seems like he'd get taken out by his own men in an instant. I can't even remember why he wants to blow up Las Vegas. Wasn't there something about raising the price of Bitcoin? I was wondering when Trunk's latent homosexuality was going to come up again. Turns out a guy telling another guy how much he loves pussy is homophobic, or at least exclusionary. Does that rule work for women? Do the girls have to say they're going out to get some cock and some pussy? Did the male strippers have some female strippers just in case one of the clients says bye? They're towing Haggerty around in the chopper's life raft, down a dry creek bed. Is Haggerty going to be doing some involuntary whitewater rafting? Wait, nope. It's a giant cliff face that they could not spot until they were 10 meters away. What the hell? Did we skip a scene? Paul comes around again and decided to ring his wife. He has a full 4 bars of 5G out in the desert. That's some ultra dense coverage. He's even got data. The prostitute and Trunk are in the bad guy's sauna. Maybe if you stop pouring water on the stones, you'll not feel so hot. Maybe it's an automated sauna? I don't know. So Winters and McKnight are going to split from the group to climb the cliff, while the rest go around, because they need the bomb tech to disarm the bomb. Paul hijacks an ATV and gets back to Caesar's palace, and there's a pretty sweet shot where the statue of Caesar tracks him with his head. Best thing about the episode so far. The coincidences continue. Paul is looking around the foyer for his daughter, and her date is the loudest person in the room. He's just popped out to get some snacks and happens to be there at the exact time to witness it. Then some bad guys show up for some reason. Why are they even there? Anyway, now Paul is their hostage and his daughter's date. Okay, so now Winters and McKnight have done it again, but in reverse. This time it's a giant drop-off that snuck up on them. Finally, we get some boobers! The hooker has stripped off the barely there dress she had on and has her flapjacks out. But for some reason they refuse to show them again. It's all shoulders up. Must be a limit on the amount of time you can have cans on the screen on Netflix. She's talking to Trunk about how she's okay with him seeing, because he's obviously gay, because he's not being perving on her. Lady, maybe you're just average. Vlad has the only code to get the door to the nuke open. Luckily this house has a bank vault in the basement. But Dweeby has a secret weapon. Dingus, I assume it's going to be some computer nerd to hack the lock. Paul is being interrogated because they reckon they can spot the military a mile away. Paul is a major glowy. Paul is taped to a chair, back to back with his son-in-law. And the Ruskies threaten to go get his daughter to make him talk. He pulls off the craziest judo throw, lifting a grown man from a seated position and throwing him at his captors. Totally unbelievable. He has a little tussle with the guys one at a time, like nice, polite, bad guys. I did like the stabbing through the hand with the bottleneck, but I feel like there should have been a head cracking open like an overripe watermelon when it was impacted by the bust. Yes, it's very impressive. McKnight and Winters are trying to get down this cliff face and Winters starts slipping, so McKnight grabs her and they both fall. But I thought it was going to be a joke about, oh my god, we thought it was a high cliff, but it was only a few feet, but it wasn't that at all. They just fell off a cliff and because Winters landed on McKnight, they're okay. Shouldn't he be wrecked? There's just no stakes in this show. There's some sort of survivalist or something that they're on her property. Now obviously she's going to have had a father in Vietnam who taught her everything she knows about field surgery, because Winters just realised that McKnight is gravely wounded. The voice sounded familiar. Is that the daughter from Roseanne? Jet Chick and Gomez are not having too much trouble lifting Haggerty into the boat, but they find it impossible to drag him. That doesn't make sense. If you can lift him, you can drag him. Tech Chick falls into a pit of scorpions that was there for some reason, but it's dark, so Gomez throws a glowing dildo that she's had since episode 1 down the hole. Why does she have that on her? She's had ample opportunity to leave it somewhere. Unless she knew that she would have to send it down a gaping hole. Wait, too much detail. So Tech Chick has now snapped out of her malaise for the 4th time this season. She seems to be a bit bipolar. She gets down and then someone blows smoke up her ass and now she thinks she can take on the world. Redonk. Finally, the extended boober shot. The prossy is tempting the guard with a hot steaminess and he falls for it. Where was he when Trunk was rattling the door? Did he just miss his entire awakening? Anyway, the goon goes to Shag and has a line akin to, "You will not enjoy this. It will not be over soon." They did it better in 300. Winters is the one who does the sewing. Crazy Prepper wants to know why they're there. McKnight lies and says that they're on their engagement party and the chopper crashed. Winter sees this nut job loves the military in the USA and tells the truth. Of course, the nutter loves this and offers to help. Okay, so I laughed at the commando role, so sue me. And I almost giggled at the taxi driver reference. Trunk and Lana are about to leave and they see a guy go to the fridge and get some food. He's still hungry. Either that or he's eyeing off the bloke. So this bit I had to turn on the subtitles because Lana's line has been ADR'd horribly and is unintelligible. Lucky I did because not only did I learn that she was saying, "The exit's right in front of us," apparently there was a drilling sound that caught Trunk's ear. I just thought it was the shitty techno music that shows love to have over the action scenes these days. Another cool effect with the photo in the speakeasy that Paul's gone to, coming to life and shaking its head at him. Way better than that stupid goblin. Bizarre shootout with the gangsters. It's like they wanted it to be in slow-mo but couldn't afford it or something. He's hiding behind objects that clearly aren't bulletproof. Then he slides on a tray between 2 gangsters so they shoot each other. But it's the tired old cliche of running out of bullets just as he reaches the boss and his daughter. But luckily the date is there and throws him the other gun. Ha, cop that. But his daughter is pissed because he's never there for her. I actually felt a little tear forming. But then it turns out it's all just a drug-induced hallucination and he's hugging a cactus. Man, the one part of the show I was enjoying and it's all bullshit. This show gets a 2. I guess it explains all the coincidences and weird behaviours in this subplot. But now I'm questioning everything that's happened in this whole show. Not cool. I was starting to like the boyfriend, the best character in the show so far. Wait, so he actually did have an ATV and kill some dude? I have no idea what the timeline looks like on this show. I don't know what to believe. Trunk gives the hooker a knife and tells her to go, while he takes out the bad guys. But just as he bails them up, creepo Walton Goggins Light comes around the corner with the prossy. Where'd he come from? The Breaking Bad guy even lampshades it by saying his timing is impeccable as ever. They have 4 hours until a nuke goes off and the team are driving the ATV with Haggerty being dragged behind it in the life raft. He's going to end up missing a cheek if they keep that up. This episode was a mess. I'm giving it another 4. The whole drug-induced hallucinations really ruined the best part of the episode. I didn't find it funny that it was all fake. Without that, it might have been a 6. The positioning of these people on the battlefield is not making any sense to me. Winters and McKnight went ahead only to come back, and now they're all going ahead on flatter terrain than they've all seen all night. What was the plan if they came back and there was no ATV? They needed the ATV to be there, even though they didn't know it existed. They could have just got the ATV from Crazy Susan, and had Paul just arrive in Vegas mysteriously as part of his hallucination. Injuries are so inconsistent too. People are falling huge distances and crashing choppers and only sustaining minor injuries. Winters, McKnight and the tech chick should all have major injuries, including broken bones, from falling such distances. McKnight should have issues with blood loss. They should all be messed up from the chopper crash, if not burned alive. Their intoxication is again coming and going as best suits the story. I could swear that only Paul and Haggerty are still under the influence. Winters manages to ride a bicycle with someone on the stunt pegs, through the desert, at night. There's no way she's drunk. These bad guys should have killed everyone when they had the chance. I don't know why they're killing people by slow deaths. Bond villains. I don't even know what the bad guy's motivation is anymore. Seems like he wants to blow up more than Las Vegas. Is this some kind of reference to Rambo being betrayed by his own government that sent him to fight a war? They said the bad guys looked like they were using USA tactics in the warehouse battle. Isn't that the plot of The Rock? They want money to look after the families of veterans who the government abandoned? Let me check to see who played Crazy Susan, and if McKnight's mum was Sybil Shepherd. Crazy Susan was Laurie Petty. Isn't that Tank Girl? Did she do anything else of note? Point Blank, A League of Their Own, Free Willy. It's all stuff I've either never seen or saw 30 years ago. McKnight's mum was Virginia Madsen. Oh hey, she was in Moonlighting with Sybil Shepherd. Only 1 degree of Kevin Bacon off. I really feel like their best option is to abort the mission and call in another team. Give them the intel they have and walk away. They could probably do it based on the fact that they had a chopper crash, and not let anyone know that they were smashed off their faces. I'm only halfway through this season. Have mercy. Why is it the shows I like get 6 25-minute episodes, and garbage like this gets 8 50-minute episodes? So, to sum it up, nothing really happens in this episode. The two that were captive are still captive. The people who are on their way to rescue them are still on their way to rescue them. The only change is now they don't have a chopper. And we can't trust our own eyes as to what is real and what is hallucination. Thanks for watching. If you like what you saw, please consider subscribing. I release reviews occasionally when time allows, and a thumbs up would be a big motivator for further reviews. If you didn't like it, feel free to leave a thumbs down and let me know how I can improve in the comments below. Anyway, I'm Mixie, thanks for your time, and have a good one.